Alrighty, welcome back, guys. It is Isaiah Anani, your host, and this is the Gametime Gazette. I am glad to be joining you guys back on another beautiful day, another beautiful week. This week we will be starting our new schedule. Excited for everything that is coming. Summer's around the corner. You see the sun out, everything. It's getting hotter, even though it's not warmer. Currently, it is going to get hotter as the weeks start to come. Playoffs are, underway. NBA season is over. NHL season is ending in 3 days. MLB starting to pick up a little bit more. We're still not in the meat of the season, but we got, prospects like Justin Holloway out there, new prospects out there. So a lot of exciting things. We're just going to get going. Let's start with the fastest 180 seconds. We didn't have an episode on Friday, so, this is going to be a jam-packed episode, and I feel like this 180 seconds will be great. Let's get it going now. And to begin with that, we got Masters was this weekend. Scottie Scheffler was the favorite coming into the Masters. Everyone's like, this is Scottie's year. It's been 20 years since a favorite has won the Masters outright. And, Scottie Scheffler ended up doing it this weekend. He won with the record of, minus 11. And, that was just pretty impressive the way he was just day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, just very consistent. We're seeing Scottie Scheffler at his best, really just leading the golf world right now. Tiger Woods as well broke the long-standing record of 23 straight cuts made at the Masters, breaking record set by Fred Couples and Gary Player. He only played 24 PGA holes last year, so this is a very impressive feat, but it is Tiger nonetheless. He is the GOAT, and at the end of the day, being able to come in here, break, get, make the cut. A lot of people were betting on him not to. Really, silenced a lot of those. I mean, it's hard though. Tiger, he is the GOAT, but this weekend we seen that, he probably should retire. It's a long time coming. All those health problems that he's been having the past few years, that car accident, all those things like that, he should retire after breaking this record. One of the most impressive records that he'll ever hold, because they'll probably never be broken again. That's with that saying, a lot of people are saying, he should probably just hang it up now, but it is Tiger. He got time, and he still got the legs under him to play a little bit like he did show this weekend. The NHL, we got, to end it off the fastest 180, we got in the NHL, we got playoff clinching scenarios tonight. As I said, the NHL season is ending in 3 days on the 18th. We got the New York Rangers. They can clinch the Metropolitan Division and the President's Trophy if they defeat the Ottawa Senators in any fashion. The Boston Bruins will clinch the Atlantic Division if they defeat the Washington Capitals. The Islanders will clinch a playoff berth if they defeat the New Jersey Devils, or if they get a point. And if either of the following occurs, the Red Wings lose to Montreal or the Capitals lose to the Bruins. So, Islanders are rooting for the Bruins to win the division this tonight. Or as well, what could also happen is the Red Wings lose to the Canadiens in regulation, and the Capitals lose to the Bruins in regulation, which can happen as well. The Red Wings lose to Canadian in regulation, and Pittsburgh lose to the Nashville Predators in any fashion. A lot more for the Islanders to be able to clinch the playoffs there. A lot of scenarios, but those are the most likely ones right there. In the Western Conference, you got the Canucks. As the timer is ending up here, I'll just wrap it up. Don't mind me with the time, but the Canucks, they will clinch the playoff division, the Pacific Division, if the Edmonton Oilers lose to the San Jose Sharks. Probably not going to happen in any fashion. And the Predators clinch the first wild card if they get at least 1 point against the Penguins. A lot of betting angles that you can take from that. The Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders can be locked in as a first round matchup today. Bruins versus Tampa as well, and Panthers versus Maple Leafs. Some rematches in there as well. NHL playoffs, exciting. We got NBA playoffs this week, and we got play-in this week. Gonna dive into that in just a second, all the NBA stuff. I really wanted to start with just give some love to the women's basketball side. NBA is going to be a little later, so put a little stopgap for that if you wanted to come listen to this for the NBA analysis and all that. But the WNBA draft is tonight. I mean, crazy turnaround for the college girls that were just playing. I'm talking about Caitlin Clark and Camila Cardoso, those ones that were in the finals, Final Four. Obviously, Angel Reese, if you want to add in the Final Fours and all of that. Crazy turnaround in time. I mean, it was just, I swear it was just a week or two ago that they were in this final. A week ago that this Final Four happened. And now we got the WNBA Draft. I'm not gonna lie, not trying to diss nothing, but like the marketing and the timeline of it all doesn't really make a lot of sense. I understand that the WNBA season is starting pretty soon, but like, I mean, this is Caitlin Clark, your biggest star going into the draft ever. And honestly, waking up this morning, I did not know the draft was today. You know, this is the only day that I've been seeing Instagram flooded with, oh, okay, the WNBA draft is at 7 p.m. on April 15th. These are the things, right, that just make you, like, you got to be able to, like, I mean, bro, we know the NFL draft is coming up April, the end of April 29 to 31st or 30 or something like that. We know that because the NFL has been doing NFL draft coverage, NFL draft promotion since like January. Well, not Jan, let's say February, just before the season ended. I mean, they've been doing it though, right? Or just right after the season ended, it was a lot of draft stuff, a lot of draft promotions, boom, boom, boom. The combine obviously happened and all of that. Don't know if the WNBA has a combine. It's all these things, right? It's like, it's a really weird, gotta put it out there. Gotta put it out there, especially when your best prospect ever from the college ranks comes into the pros, and Caitlin Clark is supposed to be the best class ever in this 2024 WNBA draft class. We're looking at it like, I mean, I'm not even like, it's maybe I'm just not tuned in on social media. Like, I feel like I'm pretty tuned in on sports media, and I feel like I'm pretty tuned in on, like, I didn't see this on no ESPN. I mean, I guess, you know, they talk about it. You see, you know, WNBA draft coming up soon. But, like, I didn't see, like, you don't see no commercials. Bro, you see NFL draft commercials. You see, and soon, like, before the season ends for the NBA, even though they're saying this is going to be the weakest class of NBA draft, you're going to see NBA draft commercials as well. Those are the things that I'm kind of like, I'm confused on, not really understanding how they'd even like. But nevertheless, let's go through it. So we obviously know Indiana Fever got the first round pick. They do draft lottery. So it's the top four. So there's 12 picks in the first round. In the WNBA, we obviously know there is, I believe is it 12 teams? Yeah, 12 teams. So 24 picks, 2 rounds. And a few teams have multiple picks. So let's look at the teams first that have multiple picks. The Los Angeles Sparks have 2 picks. The Chicago Sky have 2 picks as well. The Dallas Wings, have 2 picks as well. And yeah, 2 picks in the first round. 2 picks in the first round. So teams that have 2 picks in the first round and a 12-pick first round as well. Remember, that is the Dallas Wing, the Chicago Sky, and the Los Angeles Sparks. Really weird. I want to, like, you know, as we're diving more into women's basketball, this drafting is going to be explored a little bit more as the years, you know, as the talent grows a little better. As the draft pool grows, you know, you imagine that they're going to get more teams, and we obviously hear them about expansion all the time. So the draft will grow with that as well. But 3 teams have 2 picks in the first round. There's only 12 picks in the first round. So do the math. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal right there. But, you know, the Sparks, the Sky, and the Dallas Wings are all looking to get better. They weren't the cream of the crop last year in the WNBA. They've obviously had great runs, and they're looking to get back there. Let's look at what the first round, right? So number 1, obviously, Caitlin Clark. I thought I was about to say Cameron Brink or something. Like Caitlin Clark, you know, 6 foot tall point guard from Iowa. Obviously, we've seen her all on social media. We've seen the games. She's put us on a lot of women basketball. She received the Wooden Award this past week for the second year in a row, and appeared on the weekend update of segment of Saturday Night Live. You probably seen that on social media. It was like a funny thing. It was like, oh, she can play basketball and she's funny too. It was mildly comedic. I ain't even try to be a hater, but like I don't even find Saturday Night Live funny like that. Like some segments, they get me, but like it's all those corny jokes and all that. It's not my type of comedy. But you see in the levels of fame that she's reaching, and the growth of the women's game. The different places she's starting to go and appear on. I don't know how many WNBA players have been on Saturday Night Live, but Caitlin Clark is one of them. I don't know how many rookies have been on Saturday Night Live, so that's a big thing. Also, it was announced that the Indiana Fever will have 36 of their 40 games featured by the WNBA's national broadcast and streaming partners. Last year it was like one game or something like that was nationally televised. Obviously, the Indiana Fever, ain't nobody watching the Indiana Fever. I know they drafted, I think it was Aaliyah Edwards last year or something like that, but nobody was watching no Indiana Fever WNBA basketball. It wasn't happening. But Caitlin Clark has gotten so many more eyes on it, and it comes in a time where it's in the summertime where it's like WNBA in theory is perfect for basketball. It's perfect for the sports world because it comes in a time, all right, the NBA's done. Let's get some more basketball in the WNBA. You don't want to go look EuroLeague, which is done as well. Let's go look in the WNBA, and that's what that's kind of what it's meant to be, and hopefully what it will grow into be, just this big, league in the summer. Hopefully get a few more games in there, but 40 games all in the summer, finishing off a little bit into the fall, and 36 of them are going to be featured national TV. We're talking ESPN, ABC, all of that, and that's all because of Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark movement into the WNBA. Number 2, I got Cameron Brink going to the Los Angeles Spark. I feel like these are all consensus picks. I ain't saying that I chose da-da-da-da-da. I did choose, most of these ones, but these are consensus picks most of all, just with stats and the style of play of the teams as well. Even though I've seen a few mock drafts out there that will take Cameron Brink, that the Sparks will take Cameron Brink and Angel Reese in the first round. Two obviously centers. They both play the same position, this and that. But seeing with that, we'll get to it when we get to it. But Cameron Brink, this is a key pick in terms of how the top post players go. In WNBA, if you're the top post players always go up first, or close to the top, and Cameron Brink is in consensus in public eye, and the consensus eye, he is the most polished post player in this draft. She was in college, led Stanford to a lot of wins, really great offensive player, offensive skill bag, and being able to show that on a nightly basis, got that leader aspect to her as well. This pick would make her a fundamental player for a Sparks team trying to establish a new identity now without Nguke, so it's. But the same could be said for Cardoso, who played well, winning the NCAA championship, right? So the Cardoso could have been in this spot right here. At the same time, you might see Cameron Brink drop a little bit because Cardoso played so long into it, played on the undefeated South Carolina. You got to factor in all of those things. This is kind of where it gets just a little tricky. Things that you cannot predict. I've never watched the WNBA draft in my life. I don't know how these teams think. Camila Cardoso can definitely go here, but I did put her third to the Chicago Sky right after, because what did I say? The top post players always go up in the top, right? So Camila Cardoso, if she ain't one, she two, right? As a top post player, she's hard to stop when she gets the ball in the post scoring position. And she can control the boards. She has a major, advantage defensively as well with her blocking ability. I think she averaged like 5 blocks a game or something like that. Almost everything will be new with the Sky this season. So Cardoso and whoever they pick with their 2 picks in the first round are going to be their fundamental pieces that they're trying to be going on in this future. And I do think that, you know, they miss out on Cameron Brink, or if the Sparks take a Cardoso, they're going to take a Cameron Brink. It's going to go either way. Like, whoever the Sparks take, the Sky is going to take the next one. All right, the Sparks number 4 got Rakea Jackson from Tennessee. You know, this is I seen it on the ABC. We got to the point, right? I seen it. I think it was CBS, maybe ABC. Their mock draft. It was Cameron Brink, number 2, and then Angel Reese. I believe it was number 4 to the Los Angeles Sparks. I might be wrong, and they sent her to the Sky at number 3 or number 7, something like that. But even then as well, you're just looking at it like trying to play them twin towers, because if she does go to the Sparks or if she does go to the Sky, gonna play beside her, like one of their 2 is going to get chosen by the Sky and the Sparks, Camila Cardoso or Cameron Brink, and you're trying to merge it into, you know, kind of get a dominant front court. Bring these girls from college, mesh them together and get a dominant front court. And the Sparks, I see them doing that with Rakea Jackson instead of an Angel Reese, just because of this reason. Jackson has been a proven scorer throughout her entire college career, can play either the power forward or the small forward, that versatility as well, that gives them that front court ability, but doesn't just, you know, leave them cash strapped at the center position or the power forward position. You got someone that could stretch the floor at small forward as well. She obviously probably will be a small center, but you're looking at where for the Sparks trying to bolster that front court, I feel like Rakea Jackson would be a great piece into that. You know, the Sparks will need that offensive boost, and she would be able to help them get them there, plus develop quickly on the defensive end. That's been kind of the knock on her defensively, being able to get got a lot. But it's a thing that defense can be taught. It's all about effort. Jackson's career high 22 3-pointers made this season means that she has that tool, and it's going to be an advantage. And I feel like that is going to keep her in the top 5 and going to the Los Angeles Sparks. Got the Dallas Wings taking Aaliyah Edwards. There's a chance Edwards goes higher, for sure, you know, depending on where their team is looking for a more traditional power forward who could develop on everything well. You know, the track record of former UConn players in the pros is excellent as well, so that helps your draft stock. You know how many UConn players are in the pros. You know how many UConn players are in management as well in the WNBA. And it's something to said about that culture. It's something to said about how they build professionals and wanting to get more of those UConn professionals out there. This is a pick as well. Could be going to the Sparks number 4, you know, flip-flopping, because Aaliyah Edwards got the same type of skill set offensively, being able to just dominate on the low block, got a little bit of a short porch jumper, doesn't got the 3-point as much as a Rakea Jackson, but she got that short porch jumper, and she has the ability to, develop the 3. That's what you want to see from all these WNBA players. More often than not, as they're growing, develop the 3. Got the Mystics shaking. Just say it. JC Sheldon, you know, the Washington is a new stage for this franchise. JC Sheldon averaged 17.8 points per game last season or this season. You know, she might be the top guard picked after Clark because of her scoring ability, being able to just move through the lane, being able to score all 3 levels. She's a hard-nosed defender as well. You know, there's also a chance the Mystics could go with an overseas player who might not play in the WNBA this season, which is, you know, that obviously trying to get that jump early on. And I seen those reports on there, but I don't think so. I think the Mystics will wait out. JC Sheldon got that skill set, got that bag. We've seen a lot of talented WNBA players not get drafted in years prior, though. JC Sheldon will not be one of them. If she's not going to the Washington Mystics, she's gonna go to probably the Lynx, or, you know, we'll get to it. We got Chicago Sky taking Angel Reese, like I said, in a few, trying to build that, you know, formidable front court. Chicago Sky just trying to lead the franchise in a new direction after, this is their rebuild, right? And if they do end up with a Cardoso or a Brink, Angel Reese is the supplemental piece right there on the power forward block. Offensively, she got that skill set. We've seen her in LSU. Just give her the ball in the post. Nobody can guard her. Obviously, her patience, her footwork, her overall bag will need to be developed, but all these girls will when they get to the pros. Defensively, she's a really great defensive player as well. We're looking, she's a dominant rebounder as well. I feel like the perfect archetype for it, trying to bolster that front court with whoever the Chicago Sky get in the first round, third, fourth pick. And then, I got the Minnesota Lynx taking Isabel Borlas, the Dallas Wings taking Lala Lacan, the Connecticut Sun taking Nwadai Pook from Australia as well. New York Liberty taking Nicole Moon, and the Atlanta Dream with the last pick and 12 taking Celeste Taylor. That's my first roundup there. It's going to be a fun little draft tonight. It is at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Tune in if you tune in. Quickly wanted to get, before we get to more basketball or anything else, let's get to some football talks, some European soccer, European football. This weekend was a historic weekend. Let's, clap it up. Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso, the head of the table over there, leading them to their first ever Bundesliga title. Bayer Leverkusen prior to this season had a record of 5 runner-ups and never winning the Bundesliga. It was tied, or it was the most ever in the Bundesliga without claiming the title. They've only had, I think it was 2 cups in their club history before this season. And I think it was the Polka, maybe, the DFB Polka. So that's their domestic cup right there. And you're looking at a Bayer Leverkusen team that has the opportunity to be able to treble this season. They're undefeated, 46 games, I believe now. They've won the league, so they're relaxing on the league. Obviously, still going to try and keep that undefeated streak, so I don't see them taking their foot off the gas pedal anywhere. But they're in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, up in the first leg, going into the second leg this week. They're in the finals of the DFB Polka this year. Just a phenomenal job done by Xabi Alonso. When he came onto the scene on this team, they were like 17th. He was able to bring them up to 9th. Then the second season on, was able to bring them into just first place. Won by 16 points against a Bayern team, a Bayern organization that was dynastied. They made it a Farmers League. 11 straight Bundesliga titles claimed by Bayern and stopped by Xabi Alonso and the Bayer Leverkusen team. It was a phenomenal feat. We've seen if you've seen on social media and you follow a little bit European football, you've seen the scenes in Europe, you've seen the scenes in Germany, you've seen the scenes in Bayern. It's crazy over there. I mean, it's crazy, because first league title ever won. It's like it happens in the German league as well, the Bundesliga. It doesn't happen as often as other leagues would. Like, let's say the Prem, it happens more often than not. The most recent one that we've seen that could be compared to this is Leicester City, and Leicester City was one that was mad, where it was just, nothing could really be compared to a team that really just came up from the gutter, always the bottom of the league, or always mid-table, and then just be able to go out there and win it, unbeaten as well. It's crazy. And you rank this up in one of the top seasons ever in football. If they're able to even complete the 3-peat, if they're able to do it unbeaten, it's one of the top seasons ever in football, one of the top trebles ever. And that'd be an amazing feat there for Xabi Alonso. It seems like that old class of players, we're looking at Xabi Alonso, Xavi, all those guys, such smart footballing minds that they're able to just take on this new football world and just, create some teams, man. Xavi got them boys rolling. Since Xavi said he's going to leave Barcelona, they're 10 wins and 3 draws. Haven't lost. I wish he wasn't leaving, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish he didn't have to say that he was leaving for them to start. But it's just, something to show you how much these guys know the game and are able to teach the game to the next generation there. And, I mean, for Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen, geez Louise, congratulations. Nothing else could be said other than that. Phenomenal season, but the season ain't over yet. Go get the treble and go get it undefeated as well. They can do it. Europa League football, DFB Pokal, something like that. They can do it. In the Prem, Liverpool, my goodness. Let's talk about the Prem a little bit. Let's talk about the Prem a little bit, man. You got Liverpool losing to Crystal Palace. You got Arsenal losing to Aston Villa. And you got Man City creeping up at first. We got 5 games remaining left on these, and we got maybe less than 5, and City is back on top, going for their 4th straight, unprecedented, never done before, 4th straight title in the Prem. We're talking about Pep Guardiola just leading these boys into glory. This guy is the greatest manager ever. Don't ever argue with a wall, man. What are you gonna tell me? What are you gonna tell me? Pep keeps these guys consistent. Everybody was saying Arsenal's gonna win. No, it's gonna be Liverpool that win. Man, for the last 7 years, Pep has. I mean, he's won 6 and 7. This could be 7 and 8. It's ridiculous. He's made it his own Farmers League. People want to talk about buying players, this and that. Chelsea spent all that money. Where's Chelsea in the table? It's all about the putting it together on the field. It takes more than just money, as people just want to attribute it to money. No, it takes way more. PSG has not won a Champions League. They spend the most money out of anybody. It takes more. And Pep and Man City have that more. Coming down late in the season, I understand Liverpool, they're injured. They're in the depleted squad. Totally understand that Barcelona's been injured all year. It's hard to play at your best without your top players. But at the same time, there's a thing to be said about Pep keeping his team consistent while his players are out. We've seen Kevin De Bruyne go out this season. We've seen Rodri go out a few games this season as well. Being able to keep a steady ship even though the top players are out. Something to be said. The Arsenal loss to me is way more surprising. Aston Villa, though, have been playing much better football this year, and it's really a thing that I can't say that I'm too surprised that Aston Villa was able to get them. Aston Villa seems like a team that's always able to get Arsenal. Just seems like a fixture that Aston Villa is able to win, and this year able to do it twice. Interesting fireworks going on in the Premier League. City and Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Yep, they all got European fixtures coming up, and then they got right back into the Champions League. It's going to be a fast turnaround here, and this end of the season is going to be phenomenally fun. Last game is on May 19th, May 20th. And we'll be covering that. We got only a little bit more than a month left now. Last thing I wanted to cover, as you know what, I'll cover the NBA season tomorrow with play-in games, tournament, first round matchups, all of that. I'll even give my grades on every team in the playoffs from their regular season tomorrow in a jam-packed NBA episode. But I really wanted to spend these last few minutes covering the phenomenal event that was UFC 300. And if you ain't make money on UFC 300 this weekend, man, it was just you, bro. I feel like everybody made bread off UFC 300 this weekend, whether it was Max Holloway or Alex Pereira. Like everybody was tuned in, betting, doing their thing on UFC 300, and it cashed. Max Holloway, that guy, oof. That's the first thing you think of when you talk about UFC 300. That BMF title match was phenomenal. It wasn't like Max Holloway was losing the fight into the point that he already came onto. But he wanted, that's what the BMF title was about. That's what he said. And I love to see that from, not only this fight, but I swear when Justin Gaethje played Dustin Poirier for this title, it was it Dustin or was it it was Dustin, right? It was the same thing. Like, yo, let's put it down now. Like, it was all about being the baddest motherfucker, man. And it's like setting that precedent that like whoever fights for this title, you're always gonna get the craziest matches. Hopefully, you always want to see these guys laid out on the line for this, like that, just like Max Holloway was. He was winning the fight. You could actually like grade the fight 5-0 Max Holloway. He won every single round in my book. Maybe he lost one. Obviously, judges are a little bit more technical and give a little bit more, points, all of this, so it's like, but he won every round in my book, not even talking just damage, but like striking. We obviously know Max Holloway is a volume striker. He's going to put him out there. But when you get the volume in there, the damage with it as well, he had 5 rounds won in my book. And then in the last 10 seconds, he decides to risk it with one of the hardest hitters in the UFC. Everybody says it. Even Khabib said it. Justin Gaethje hits like a train. It's crazy. And he came, put it down, and he put Justin Gaethje down. And nobody puts Justin Gaethje down like that. Justin Gaethje doesn't go down like that. It's not a normal thing for Justin Gaethje to go down like that. So that was a phenomenal fight. BMF title. I love that title. I'm hoping, that next fight, where we see Max Holloway. Max Holloway also, it wasn't even a thing that, like, obviously Max Holloway is one of the best UFC fighters everywhere. One of the best UFC fighters ever, especially in his division, everything like that. One of the best strikers ever. Not just thinking about that when I was placing the bet. Max Holloway is an honorary Canadian. He is a Raptors guy, Raptors faithful. So like there's no way I could go Justin. There's no way. So I was just like, let me go Max Holloway. And he cashed. And it wasn't even a no sweat. Obviously you're sweating because it's the BMF title, and Justin Gaethje has a right and left hook. He can knock you out. Max hasn't been dropped before, but he dropped Max. So it got me a little shaky there. But beautiful fight, beautiful card. Want to talk about, Alex Pereira and, Jamal Hill. Talk about that. It lasted like 30 seconds. It lasted a little longer than 30 seconds, but we're talking about Alex Pereira just getting up there, man. He's like rising up there in UFC stardom, UFC greats ever. 8 fights or something like that in the UFC, and he's already beaten 5 champions. Come on, man. Ridiculous stat. Ridiculous, bro. And the thing about it too is the way he's doing it. He's knocking these guys out, bro. He's knocking them out cold, man. The Jamal Hill one, brushed off. He got a little hit on the cup, brushed him off. Brushed off Mike Dean, came no Mike. Stay back. Don't need it. Chama. He said Chama. Relax. Pop. Ridiculous. Just pow, pow, pow. Hammer fist. It was phenomenal to see. It's the biggest stage in the MMA, so it provides an excellent opportunity for a level of a fighter in Alex Pereira to just scatapult. Or, he even said he wanted to get, go fight heavyweight now. Like that ass. And I think he's serious. Would we see an Alex Pereira versus John Jones in the future? Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall? Man. If Alex Pereira goes to heavyweight and wins, he's the best ever. Pound for pound, whatever, give it to him. I don't care about no John Jones. If Alex Pereira goes and becomes a 3-division champ, he's the best ever. Give it to him and lock the key away. That's crazy. He even said he wanted to fight this next pay-per-view, UFC 301. UFC 301's in June. He's a crazy guy. No, UFC 301's next month. He's a crazy guy. Obviously, probably won't happen. Definitely not just, okay, you can't just say he wants to fight 301, but it's Dana doesn't want to get that guy hurt. You know, that's a crazy turnaround, and it's a crazy risk. Probably see him before the year ends for sure. Again, hopefully defending the title. Called out some, said Makhachev. Wow. I mean, we got Alex Pereira as a fighting champion. He's a fighting champion, and I love it. Yeah, I don't know. It was a fun card. A lot of people were hating on it because they didn't see Conor McGregor in it, but at least we got the announcement of McGregor versus Chandler coming up, UFC 302. I believe it was UFC 302, 301, something like that, but it's in the next few. And that's exciting. I'm going to cover the NBA, the play-in, and all the regular season drama that ended off, and the playoff scenarios or the playoff matchups and all of that. I'm going to cover that tomorrow in an extensive episode. Or I'm cover that on Wednesday. I'm sorry. After the first play-in game tomorrow that we're going to see from, I think the Eastern Conference is playing tomorrow and the West is playing on Wednesday. But, oh no, that's not how it goes. I think the 8 and 9 are playing today for both conferences. And then the 10 and, the 7 and 8 are playing today. And the 9 and 10 are playing tomorrow. I feel like, I don't know why I'm getting mixed up. Either the days are mixed up or something like that. It's been a long episode too. But I've enjoyed it. And I will be back here on Wednesday. Remember, we are on this new schedule, 3 days a week, popping out these videos to you guys, full length. Some great content. I'm loving this. I'm going to keep getting better at this. And I thank you guys for staying with me at this journey. It's been your host, Isaiah Anani. And as always, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Jesus loved us and he didn't have to. Remember that. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.